Historical artifacts are more than just old objects. They're pieces of our past that offers a glimpse into the lives, beliefs, and technologies of our ancestors. However, out-of-place artifacts are those that defy our conventional understanding of the past. They may be objects that are too advanced for their supposed age, or they may be located in places that they shouldn't be. Whatever the case may be, these artifacts force us to re-examine our understanding of the past and to consider the possibility that our ancestors were capable of so much more than we previously thought. In the 10th episode of our Out of Place Artifact series, we'll be exploring 5 more old parts that have been discovered around the world. The Tolli Papyrus. An ancient Egyptian artifact known as the Tolli Papyrus is not a standard Egyptian papyrus. Rather, it's a document that extensively depicts a massive UFO sighting that's said to have taken place in ancient Egypt under the rule of Thutmose III. For generations, the passage remains forgotten before going widespread in the 1930s. During a trip to Cairo in 1933, Alberto Tolli, head of the Vatican Museum's Egyptian section, reportedly spotted a fascinating papyrus in an antique store. Tolli created a replica of the original papyrus because he believed it would be too expensive to acquire. Later, the copy was redone, this time using hieroglyphs in place of the authentic hieratic script, which raises questions about the validity of the original. Yet Tolli and his claimed papyrus became popular in UFO legend. Many ufologists regard it as the indisputable proof of extraterrestrial life. One of the oldest recorded descriptions of a fleet of flying saucers was found in this papyrus document, according to experts. A tenacious Prince Boris de Reichwaltz succeeded in translating the papyrus despite its extreme deterioration and many gaps, claiming that it was a part of Thutmose III's annals. Nevertheless, there is one bad feature in the story. Nothing in the old text mentions the pharaoh by name, which makes matters even more dubious and difficult. According to the interpretations of the ancient text, this alleged UFO sighting occurred about 1480 BC and was observed by a large number of individuals. Because the ancient Egyptians were exceptionally proficient in astronomy, it's fair to believe that they would not have misunderstood these fiery disks as a rare astronomical or meteorological phenomenon. Many historians think that Egyptians would have been capable of distinguishing between an astronomical occurrence and a strange, inexplicable incident like the one recounted in the text. But we must be careful not to jump to conclusions. On the other hand, be aware that the Tolli Papyrus is an interpretation of a modern transcript of a claimed Egyptian text, the whereabouts of which is now unknown. A scientific investigation cannot be conducted without examining the original for validity because only one person has claimed to have discovered the existence of this one document. So it'd be fruitless at this time in history to further explore what these circles of fire may have been, especially because the validity of the original document is in doubt. Terry Betts Sphere. A bizarre metallic sphere, the size of a bowling ball, was discovered by the oldest son, Terry Betts, together with his parents, Jerry and Antoine, in the woods near their home on Jacksonville's Fort George Island in 1974. This discovery would have a lasting influence on the family's life. Terry, a 21-year-old pre-med student, brought the ball home because he thought it would be unusual enough to make a decent keepsake. The family didn't give the orb much thought until Terry started playing his guitar close to it one day. Something weird happened, according to Jerry. The ball began buzzing around. It soon began to exhibit other strange characteristics, such as rolling about seemingly on its own, changing direction, and stopping abruptly. It even vibrated and made a high-pitched sound, which made dogs whine and cover their ears. The Betts Sphere, sometimes known as the Mystery Sphere, or simply the Oddball, quickly gained popularity. One of the first to examine it was Ron Kivett, the host of a nearby radio program on paranormal events. He was sure that the sphere was of extraterrestrial origin, built by some cosmic intelligence for an unknown reason. By mid-April, the Betts Sphere had captured the interest of the media as well. After 1 or 2 weeks of hitting local headlines, it had become a national topic, with international media picking it up as well. With interest in the Betsphere at an all-time high, even the United States Navy wanted a peek. According to contemporary news accounts, the Navy officially indicated that they discovered only that the ball was stainless steel and that, while they couldn't establish what it was for, it was built on Earth. A small triangular chip in the surface, which threw off its otherwise perfect balance, and the Bet's uneven flooring, according to the Navy, were the likely cause of its tendency to move. The investigation was then turned over to scientists. The National Enquirer was organizing a panel of 5 UFO experts in New Orleans shortly after the Betsphere story surfaced. They didn't think much of the ball and agreed with the Navy that it was artificial. Soon later, the sphere faded from public consciousness and the Betts family resumed their usual life. The sphere has continued to appear in publications, television programs, and websites regarding extraterrestrials and inexplicable mysteries, even though there hasn't been any news about it or word from the family in more than 40 years. What do you think the Betts sphere is? Is it something extraterrestrial, or is this the ball that was created by someone on Earth? Let me know what you think. The Shigar Idol. The so-called Shigar Idol was initially discovered by gold prospectors in 1890 at the base of a peat swamp in Russia's Ural mountain range. The one-of-a-kind piece, a 9-foot-tall totem pole made of 10 pieces of wood that have been carved with expressive features, eyes, and limbs, and painted with geometric shapes, is the earliest surviving example of wooden ritual art that is known to exist. Archaeologists are still learning new things about this amazing relic more than a century after it was discovered. The sculpture may be 900 years older than previously believed, according to a recent study. The item was probably created towards the end of the last ice age, around 12,500 years ago. The artwork was carved by its prehistoric makers from a single large tree with 159 growth rings. The recent discoveries show that the unusual artwork predates Stonehenge, which was built roughly 5,000 years ago, by almost 7,000 years. The Egyptian pyramids, for example, which dates to about 4,500 years ago, are just half as ancient. For decades, experts have been puzzled regarding the antiquity of the Shigar sculpture. The disagreement has significant consequences for prehistoric studies, which tends to stress a Western-centric understanding of human evolution. The intricate markings etched into the object's wooden surface shows that its designers intended it to be mobility art or pourable art with ritual significance. The 8 faces could make hidden allusions to a creation myth or the line separating the earth and sky. The Shigar sculptures is a record of the elaborate symbolic behavior and spirituality of the late glacial to early Mesolithic hunter-gatherers who lived in the Urals. It's a wonder in and of itself that this uncommon example of hunter-gatherers' artwork has survived to the present. The Russian peat boss acidic antibacterial atmosphere protected the wooden construction for a millennia. The Sacsayhuaman Wall. The walled complex of Sacsayhuaman is located on the outskirts of Cusco, Peru. The location is famous for its massive dry stone walls, which are made of rocks that have been precisely carved to fit together firmly without the use of cement. The stones were used to create the terraces at Sacsayhuaman, which may weigh up to 200 tons, are among the heaviest ever utilized to build a structure in prehistoric America. They also exhibit an unparalleled level of perfection in the fitting. The stones are so close together that a single sheet of paper cannot fit between them. For decades, experts have been perplexed by this perfection, as well as around the corners of the blocks, the diversity of their interlocking forms, and the way the walls tilt inwards. Inca Manco Capac, the creator of Cusco and one of the greatest Inca monarchs, built out the city in the shape of a puma, with the two Lumayo and the Huatenay rivers forming the body. The V formed by these two rivers' confluence served as his tail, while the Huacapata, which holds the Coricancha, serves as his heart. Sacsayhuaman's stronghold is his head. The biggest mystery about the Sacsayhuaman's wall was how the wall was constructed perfectly without the use of modern tools. Sacsayhuaman was a massive complex in its heyday. 3 huge structures that were likely used for storage and as barracks dominated the inner precinct, which was a tangle of winding streets. Some people believe that the Temple to the Sun in this area's rear was the holiest site in the Inca Empire. Under siege, the inner stronghold could have accommodated up to 10,000 people. Outside of the main fortification, there are other notable sites. While the sacred spring of Calaspucio was essential to the initiation rites of Inca males, it's believed that the Cocha Chincanas served as an Inca cemetery. The Rodadero, also known as a sliding spot, is a huaca or shrine built around a unique rock formation with steps, seats, and the Incan throne carved into it. The Rodadero was of enormous spiritual and ceremonial value to the Incas, but is also a function as a recreational sliding area, which may now be enjoyed by the young and old alike. The Shangxi Dui artifacts. In June of 2022, a team of scholars from Sichuan University and Peking University discovered hundreds of objects, including ornate bronze, gold, and jade goods, among the Shangxi Dui ruins in China's southern Sichuan province. According to experts, the discoveries date back to 3,000 to 4,500 years. Shangxi Dui is a significant Chinese archaeological site, founded in the late 1920s. It's regarded as one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in China and one of the 20th century's finest findings overall. According to experts, its treasures were previously part of the 4,800-year-old and 2,000-year-old Shu Empire. The first discoveries are primarily from sacrifice pits 7 and 8, with the highlight being a bronze box with a tortoise-shaped top holding jade items, including dragon heads. Around the casket, there were still visible traces of silk fabric. The pit's purpose and use are being debated. Others believe they were used for burials, but without human skeletons. The bodies may have been burned to ash as part of a ritual burning process. The presence of ash, probably the remains of wood and plant stuff used as fuel, has prompted researchers to hypothesize that boxes were put in the pits to be burnt. Other intricate bronze sculptures, such as an altar, a dragon with a pig's nose, and heads with gold masks, were discovered by archaeologists in pit number 8. A strange, 3-part sculpture portrays a serpent with a human head, tusk, and horns. The top of the head is formed like an old trumpet-shaped wine jug. Certain aspects of the sculpture were typical of the Shu Kingdom, and others were more like those of Zhou-era artifacts. These 3 elements have now been combined, demonstrating the significance of Shangxi Dui in Chinese civilization. Other cultural artifacts discovered in Shangxi Dui have been discovered in different parts of China, demonstrating the early trade and unification of Chinese culture. The sculptures are extremely intricate and inventive, representing the fairy world that people of the period envisioned. And they show the diversity and wealth of Chinese civilization. The latest discoveries are likely to be shown at an exhibition at the Shangxi Dui Museum in 2023. These structures, relics, and artifacts are always interesting to discuss when there's little to no documented information about its function or construction. They're always leaving us wondering about the secrets of our ancient past and what technology we could have accomplished if our ancient ancestors continue to evolve them into today. Thanks for watching our Late Night Top 5 channel. We're a new channel and would love to have your support by subscribing, liking, or simply dropping a comment down below. To watch more interesting late night videos, click the links to continue watching more.